Hello and welcome to our session today, enabling flexible conversations with customers in the new normal. My name is Rob Hennelly, I'm the Head of Product Marketing at Solgari, and I'm very happy to be here speaking to you today. I hope you're all keeping well. Just to give a quick background on ourselves, we're Solgari, we're an inner circle partner of Microsoft's, and we're also the first ISV to deliver full all-channel, all-functionality cloud communications within Dynamics 365. What that includes is voice, video, chat, SMS, social media, etc., all on top of our integrated contact center capabilities, as well as things like recording and archiving, analytics and reporting. As I mentioned, we're a Microsoft Global ISV partner, so we're part of the premium tier, and we're also a member of the Inner Circle for business applications. And as part of that, we enjoy a strategic relationship with Microsoft, as you see on the screen, working jointly with their Dynamics 365 teams from a sales perspective, but also from an R&D perspective. We've lots of customers. As I mentioned, we're a global ISV, so we're working with over 107 customers today in over 40 countries, and that's a snapshot there of some of the companies we're working with currently. So just to give a background for today, obviously this is the session that we're looking at today is around how to enable flexible communications in the new normal, and to do that you have to look at the new market dynamics and the new service model for dealing with customers. As with everything that we do, everything should be dictated by the customer, and as we've done our research and as we looked at the field and looked at what our customers are looking for, it's clear that their end customers have higher expectations. They want it to be convenient and they want it now. So what we mean by that is over any channel they want to be able to communicate with you. And they want to be able to do it in a way that suits them at a time that suits them. So as a result of that, they then have a low tolerance for failure, especially if there's a lack of choice. So they want it my way or no way, as we like to say internally ourselves. So as I said, it's whatever channel they want at a time that suits them, and they want it all dealt with as soon as possible. So it's very much an outcome of millennial type communications across, particularly across the newer types of channels. And what this then has led to is increased competition. So by that we mean that if you as a company can't provide your customers with an improved customer experience, whether it's customer service or sales, you're going to lose out to a competitor who can be. And you very much see this in industries like banking, where you've got your traditional banks that are really suffering versus the new modern digital banks that can be very nimble, very flexible when it comes to things like the service they offer, their customer service. So digitally enabled is very important. And then as a result of this new model, this new service model, it's also a new cost model. So you're moving away from all your on-premise side of things. You need to move into the kind of more modern cloud-based systems for communications primarily, but across your whole organization. And that's essentially what you're competing against, is the old versus the new, essentially. So what does this look like in an organization, and from your customer's perspective, from the agent's perspective, and then obviously from your organizational perspective? And there's lots of things. So as I said, the customers, they want it to be easy to engage with you. That's across any channel, any device, through any interface. They want to be able to complete their transaction now, straight away. So we would use the term first contact resolution. They want to be able to go from inquiry through to purchase, or case creation through to case resolution, all in the one transaction if possible, as much as possible. So for that to happen, I suppose it needs to be relevant and it needs to be efficient. From an agent's perspective, what they need is the tools to be able to help the customer who expects it to be easy to engage. So they need to be able to access all of the channels that the customer can. They need to have access to all the functionality, so the ability to be able to process payments, the ability to be able to transfer calls, and all of the routing that they need to make their jobs and lives easier. They also need to be able to use any channel in the conversation, so the ability to channel hop or move between different channels such as chat to audio to video, etc. And where possible, automation should support their journey. So whether that's AI helping them with knowledge base, or whether it's simply things like AI dialer, which allows them to be more efficient on outbound, lots and lots of things like that can really support the agent to provide a better service to the customer. And then as a result, what does the business get? Well, it gets a modern digital solution. And that's very important for being able to deliver in the new normal. Particularly when you've got lots of customers and you've got lots of agents trying to work from home, being able to have a modern digital solution allows you then to grow your customer contacts, or increase your volumes, have a higher completion rate, increase your revenue, less issues, and lots more. Beyond that, then, what the customer also wants is to be involved in the process. So they want to understand, they want to know that the company knows them. So when I call in, I expect you to know who I am. If I have any cases live that I need to be dealt with, if I've made any previous transactions. So they expect to be known when they make a communication, and then they expect to be helped as soon as possible. And I suppose, from an agent's perspective, for them to be able to do that, all the data needs to be available through the Dynamics 365 in this case. The communication and the communications layer and the CRM layer need to be connected, so they've got that 360 view. They also need to be able to provide or give the customer the opportunity to give feedback and do surveys. And that is something that is obviously becoming more and more important in the modern world, trying to provide a better customer experience, particularly during COVID. And then as a result, what the business gets is a stronger customer relationship, as you'd expect, because you're delivering more value to the customer by giving the agent more functionality and capabilities, and in turn that's making a better, is increasing the customer relationship. And lastly, but not least, and it's something that will never be taken for granted, but particularly now when more communications are happening online, it's very important for customers to feel safe, particularly in the communication, but in relation to their data. So from an agent's perspective, if they're handling payments, it's important that they have a PCI DSS compliant payment process there. It's also very important then from an organization perspective that they have all of their communications encrypted, and both in transit and at rest, so that the customer can all feel that their data is secure and safe. How do we deliver that type of outcome in tandem with Microsoft? So what we're going to use the term with today is a term that I like to use, which is called full stack cloud communications, which is in turn powering flexible conversations. So this top layer is the customer relationship. It's the Microsoft ecosystem, the things like Dynamics 365, which is obviously the CRM that we're fully integrated with using the channel integration framework. But beyond that, then you've got all this conversational intelligence for sales insights, Power BI for dashboards and visualizations, customer voice for feedback, which we're fully integrated with, omnichannel capabilities as well. The omnichannel for customer service app, if it's been used, we're integrated with that as well using the channel integration framework, and lots more. So there's a huge, including cognitive services. So being able to leverage all of that capabilities from Microsoft is very, very important to delivering flexible conversations. But below that, in turn, what we do is we provide that full integrated channel capabilities. So no matter what app you're using within Dynamics 365, you can get access to voice, video, chat, SMS, social media, messaging like WhatsApp, WeChat, and more. And then the ability to be able to channel hop across those different channels, but also to have lots of functionality in those channels. So if you're on a call, being able to transfer, if you're in a chat, being able to escalate to voice and video, lots of things like that. So that full integrated channel capabilities is very, very important. Then below that, then of course you need that integrated contact center. So intelligent routing for inbound calls, outbound number presentation. So when you're calling out that you're presenting the correct numbers, global PSTN coverage, which we provide as a carrier, the ability then to configure all of those channels and ensure that the right people can access the right channels within your teams. And then obviously being able to report upon that is very, very important. And as I mentioned, last but not least, that layer of compliance, security, and reliability, and that's something that is inherent in our stack in the Solgari cloud. So that looks like the ability to record all conversations, but then being able to research and retrieve them. The ability to implement things like PCI DSS compliant payment processes, which we can facilitate, and then just all of the ISO and PCI DSS compliant standards that you need to have your cloud in, so that you as an organization can be secure. And then the last two things are kind of offsets of this, but very, very important. As I mentioned, that all business function support. So in order to power flexible conversations, it's very important that you can do that across your whole business. So whether it's your sales team or your customer service team, because we use a channel integration framework, we can facilitate both of those types of teams on the Solgari cloud communications solution. And then underpinning that, and this is very important in the new normal with everyone's working from home, or you need to implement a cloud communication solution very, very quickly, that is inherent in our solution as well. It's very, very quick to deploy. We've many examples of where we can deploy in a week or week, 2 weeks for massive enterprise scale deployments. So the ability to be able to do that across the whole stack with all the functionality that you see in front of you is a part of what we do as well. So that is important to power flexible conversations in the new normal. But just to talk quickly about the two aspects of communications with customers that are very, very important as we see it. So live communications, where you've got customers who want to talk directly to your agents, who need to be routed through, and we take care of that, as you can see here on the screen. We take care of that across all of the channels where a customer is connected with a live agent by being routed through the Solgari core. All the intelligent routing puts them through to the next available agent, and that agent then in turn answers that call inside Microsoft Dynamics 365 using the channel integration framework. So all of that live communications capabilities, the ability to record all those communications in the timelines, etc., that is all inherent in our solution as well, thanks to the channel integration framework. But below that, and this is a really important aspect of enabling powerful and rich communications in the new normal, is the automated side of things. And our own solution called Solgari Automate empowers this. And what essentially allows you to do is have customers then in tandem have a lot of self-service journeys where they may be using two-way SMS to check the delivery status of a product. They may want to reorder, place an order using SMS and confirm it. They may want to use an IVR where they can call in and place an order over the phone without having to talk to a live agent. And the benefit of this type of journey is that it allows you then to have a sub-layer of communications that is constantly happening, that isn't taking time away from your valuable agents. And what it is leading to is a better customer experience as well. And this very much ties into that my way or no way type attitude that customers have now. Some customers don't want to have to go through to a live agent. If I have a bill to pay, I just want to go into an IVR, enter my credit card details, make the payment and be gone. And from the organizational perspective, you just want to have all that data inside Dynamics 365 so that when a customer makes a payment, I can see it there straight away in the CRM, and I've got one place of truth for all customer information and all customer data. As I said, I'm going to share links to some of our product walkthroughs, particularly around the agent experience and the customer experience. And the way we deliver, I suppose, as we say here, the building blocks of enterprise scale communications is through these three solutions that we have, our applications. It's Solgari Console, Solgari Converse, and Solgari Automate. Essentially, Solgari Console gives you control of your cloud communications. So in order to enable flexible communications in the new normal, it's very, very important that you can manage them from anywhere. And that's essentially what Solgari Console allows you to do. It essentially gives you access to all of your contact center, all of your cloud telephony functionality in the browser in a secure way so that you can manage it, ensure that it's working effectively, and scale up or scale down as needs be. What Solgari Converse does is, as you see there, it powers flexible integrated all-channel conversations. So this is the endpoint that sits inside Dynamics 365. It sits inside your browser so that your agents can work and be productive from anywhere. And then Solgari Automate is essentially what I was saying earlier, where it enables organizational change through intelligent, automated communications. So this is powering self-service communications with customers over whatever channel you want, whether it's voice, SMS, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and more. And it allows you to improve the productivity of your whole organization by bringing in an automated layer of communications underneath your live communications layer. So just to sum up, how do we consistently deliver for customers as Solgari? And as you've seen, we do that by offering full functionality, so all the contact center that you need, all the channels that you need, and all the functionality that you'd expect around that, queuing, call management, all of that. Maximum flexibility around users, around the channels that you want as an organization, and the way that you can escalate and move between different channels. In tandem to this then, because you've all the channels and all the functionality on our solution, you then get insightful, accurate intelligence, which is very important to any organization. And then lastly, but as I said, but not least, they're completely safe and compliant. A very, very important part of communications in the modern world, particularly around cloud. And that's all for large scale, high volume enterprise customers. Feel free to reach out to myself, Rob Hennelly, Head of Product Marketing at Solgari, or else my colleague Paul Mulvena, who looks after Asia Pacific. And if you have any questions or if you want to follow up with us, please get in touch at any time. Connect with me on LinkedIn and I'll be more than happy to do so. Take care.